Welcome once again to GMF Talk, where we speak to innovators and disruptors who can share a glimpse with us today already of what the future might look like. I'm honored to welcome Audrey Tang with me today. Ms. Tang is Taiwan's digital minister in charge of social innovation. Those are a lot of buzzwords right there, and I can't wait to hear what she has got to say. Well, welcome to GMF Talk, Ms. Audrey Tang.
Hello and good local time.
Before we dive into the details of what your job entails, I'd like to talk a little bit about the many hats that you wear. You're a programmer, a civic hacker, an anarchist, an LGBTQI+ activist, and Taiwan's youngest cabinet member. But can you tell us in your own words, who is Audrey Tang?
Audrey Tang is a human being. I think the most accurate description is not an anarchist, but a conservative anarchist that we can talk about more.
For your job description, what does that job of being a digital minister actually entail? And why do you say a country needs a digital minister like you?
So as Taiwan's first digital minister, I literally wrote my own job description, which I'll just read it very quickly. My job description reads, when we see the Internet of Things, let's make it Internet of Beings. When we see virtual reality, let's make it a shared reality. When we see machine learning, let's make it collaborative learning. When we see user experience, let's make it about human experience. And whenever we hear that a singularity is near, let's make it better that this plurality is here.
So we've established that innovation is truly at the heart of who you are and of what you do, right? And I'm sure that there are many adversaries you have to face in your work. With that in mind, I'd like to ask you, how do you think technological advances can help to counter the infodemic, especially deliberate disinformation? And how can they help to repair democratic processes?
What we're doing is to build digital public infrastructures. These are like town squares, public libraries, and so on, but in the digital realm. And the Taiwan people have the broadband as a human right and digital competence in our basic and lifelong educations. Together, it makes all the disinformations and rumors and so on have a lower R value, a lower basic transmission rate than the real-time fact-checking clarifications and humor over rumor means.
Among other things, you promote radical transparency, right, as one of the means to build a stronger democracy. But can you please share with us how you can guarantee, with all of that, the safety and privacy of people online? How do you secure their data against misuse in Taiwan's highly digitalized society?
The one principle that we adhere to is that there's no use of data without the correct consent and the correct inform to the people. So the idea is that the data is never used unless it's appropriately sourced. So we don't invent, for example, new data collection points during the pandemic. We reuse existing, for example, SMS on the phones where people already register their whereabouts to their telecoms and so on as a way to do contact tracing instead of requiring them to install any app. Or if they don't trust their own telecoms, they can also just write down their contact number in the venue on a piece of paper, and that works too. So the idea is not to bring people to adapt to the technology, which would be singularity, but rather to ask the technologists to adhere to the will of the people, which is plurality.
Okay, perfect. So have you experienced that every citizen, everyone gets along with this accelerated digitalization, that you don't only get the savvy, young, internet-savvy people to work out fine in that digitalized society?
I think digitalization is not about connecting machines to machines or connecting people to machines. It's about connecting people to people. And so by this, I mean, we're not asking the senior people or the very young people to have to use a touchscreen, to use a phone or things like that, but rather making sure, for example, in our universal healthcare, everyone's got an NHI card, which is an IC card, and they can take it to the nearby convenience store, nearby pharmacies, and so on, where the staff can help them to get the vaccine pre-registration, pre-ordering the mask, and things like that in a digitalized way. Again, bringing service to where people are instead of asking people to adapt to technology.
You've hinted at this. More recently, you have been working on the so-called 1922 contact tracing system and the 1922 vaccine appointment system in Taiwan, which uses SMS technology, that is text messaging. How does this work exactly, and how does this protect Taiwanese citizens?
Mm-hmm. So since last year, we've already got a toll-free number 1922 where anyone can call using a mobile phone or a landline and to get real-time support to counter pandemic efforts, or they can report what they are seeing in the front line, like the pink mask thing and things like that. And that is our collective intelligence base. Now this year, we've expanded, so it's not just a toll-free number to call, but also a toll-free number to SMS. The way it works is like this. If you enter a venue, you will see a QR code posted by the venue, and you just scan it using your built-in camera. If you're using an iPhone, you don't have to unlock the phone. You just swipe, and the camera points to a QR code. It pops a SMS to 1922 and press send, and that's it. So with just 2 seconds, anyone can complete a check-in, and also understanding that this does not go to the government. It goes to the telecoms, which will rapidly delete that after 28 days with no contact tracing.
Thank you so much for sharing some insights into your work and your take on where things are headed, or should be headed, in our digital age.
Thank you for the questions. Live long and prosper.
And also, a big thanks to our viewers. I hope you learned as much as I did today. Keep disrupting, keep innovating, and above all, keep well. Goodbye for now.